So I'm really proud of myself because in 4 days I saw 4 movies in the theater. On Sunday I saw Won't You Be My Neighbor, great film. Tuesday I saw Mission Impossible Fallout, great film. And then Wednesday I did a double feature at this really great theater in St. Louis, Missouri, where I was working, the Tivoli Theater, great art house cinema. I saw Three Identical Strangers and Eighth Grade. I've got MoviePass, so I didn't pay for all of those. Although, if you're following the news, MoviePass is on a up and down roller coaster. So we'll see how much longer I can be using my MoviePass. Yeah, all 4 films are really great. But the last one I saw, and the one that maybe had the strongest impact on me, was Eighth Grade. Bo Burnham's writing, directing debut. And if you know Bo Burnham, you might know him from his stand-up specials on Netflix, Make Happy and What. Just a comedic genius, and he's a young guy. He's mid-late 20s. He wrote and directed a film about 8th grade, called 8th Grade, about an 8th grade girl named Kayla who's just awkward and uncool, and she's just trying to survive the last few weeks of 8th grade. And it's just a sweet, wonderful little film. He gets all the details so perfectly right. And it's just one of those movies you're just kind of enjoying and smiling about because you can relate to it. You can remember when you were in 8th grade, and it really drives home how monumental, how life and death things can seem. Things like walking past your friends in a bathing suit, trying to just get into the pool and not have people look at you. Things like shadowing a high schooler and just wondering what life will be like. It makes you think that you're just watching something that you're nostalgic for and really loving it because you remember how it was then. But then at the very end, it kind of blindsides you, at least it did me, with how current and relevant the film was to where I am now, to my life now. Kayla, she's graduating 8th grade. She sort of digs up her time capsule from when she was 5th grade, and she watches a message from her 5th grade self. And the 5th grade self is so excited and eager about who Kayla will be in 8th grade. And Kayla's upset watching this. She can't watch it because she feels sort of ashamed of who she is as an 8th grader. She hasn't become the woman that her 5th grade self thought she would become just 3 years earlier. She doesn't have the boyfriend. She doesn't have the body. She doesn't have the coolness. She doesn't have any of these things. She's, like many of us, just a normal, uncool 8th grader. But she remembers how much she was hoping to be a certain way in 5th grade. And of course the film's about her journey of accepting herself, the journey of, learning to love her father, realizing how much her father loves her, learning to stand up for herself, learning to be comfortable in her own skin. And it's a wonderful little sort of coming of age. I kind of hate that term for movies, but it's really about this small coming-of-age microcosm for this girl. And the film ends with her leaving another time capsule message for her as a 12th grader. I wonder what you'll be like. I wonder who your friends will be. I wonder what you'll love. You realize that how much someone can change in the 3 years from 5th grade to 8th grade, then the 4 years from 8th grade to 12th grade, especially in that time of adolescence and growing up. You realize how much someone can change. It's not just our bodies that are changing and minds that are changing, but in such a small span of time, the world can change. And she says something, the 8th grade Kayla says something in the video message directed at her 12th grade self. And it's the final line of the film, basically. She says, "I can't wait to be you." And when I heard that line, it just hit me. And all of a sudden, it was like all of the themes of the film really drove home to me, to where I am now as a 36-year-old, suddenly aware that in 4 years, the same age that Kayla from an 8th grader to a 12th grader would be, 4 years I'll be 40. And in how, in my life as an adult, that seems so short. But yet, just like an 8th grader, so much can change in that time. And it inspired me to form the mindset of who I want to be as a 40-year-old, what I want to happen in the next 4 years, who I want to be able to say, I can't wait to be you, Thomas, at 40. And it made me realize, man, there are things that in my life now, way I think, things I do that I would love to change in the next 4 years. There are goals I want to achieve, personal goals, career goals, relationship goals, all these things. And this girl's story of just formation in 8th grade just really sort of inspired me and really hit home to want to have that same level of formation in my life. And honestly, to never settle and be satisfied with the formation I am, but always wanting to be better, always wanting to say to the next me, the me in 4 years, however old I am, I can't wait to be you. And cutting yourself some slack and giving yourself credit for the you were 4 years ago. The same way that 8th grade Kayla sort of looks back at her 5th grade self and is sort of lamentful. So check out the film, love the film, be inspired by the film, and just be inspired by how quick a few years can be, but yet how much something can change, how much we can change in that time, and how we can always be the people we want to be, no matter how old we are.